Hey everybody, welcome back. My mother-in-law is a nightmare. Should I call off the wedding?
Get out!
Woo! We got a juicy story from the Charlotte Dobre subreddit. This is from Boiling Point Potato. I feel like the potato inside joke is not something that everybody understands. And quite frankly, I don't even understand it entirely. It goes back, honestly, about a decade now. Throwaway account because I never thought I'd contribute to this page, but here we are. Also, all names are fake, just the way I like it. I'm not trying to get sued. I don't want to get sued today. Would rather not. Hi, potatoes. Hey, bestie. I never thought I'd be posting here, but I'm at my breaking point. I'm getting married in 6 weeks to James, 30 male, who I genuinely love. When did you post this? 15 days ago. Is this gonna go up in time? Maybe not, but hopefully you hear this in time. He's kind, funny, supportive, or at least he was until wedding planning turned into what feels like an extended episode of Mean Girls.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
With his mother, Karen, 56 female, playing the role of Regina George's older, scarier, passive-aggressive cousin.
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Oh, goody. It's always been super non-confrontational. Like, I'm the kind of person who says, oh no, it's fine, when the waiter brings the wrong food because, like, I don't want to be a bother. I'm also this person. I hate drama. I hate conflict. I'd rather swallow my feelings whole than deal with the awkwardness of an argument. But Karen is turning me into the kind of person who screams into pillows. I'm a pillow screamer. But I almost always get a zit the next day.
You've got a dirty pillow.
At first, I thought she was just the typical overbearing mother. You know, the no one is good enough for my son type. But this is different. She's not outright rude. It's worse than that because everything she does is wrapped in this
I'm just being helpful
package, which makes me feel crazy for even getting upset. At my bridal shower, she stood up and gave this heartfelt speech, ending with,
I always pictured James was someone more refined, but Sarah's so fun and casual.
Fun and casual. Yeah, that's a little backhanded, I'm not gonna lie. A little backhanded.
You know, I always thought of someone a little more classy for my son, but you'll do. You're okay.
It really keeps things interesting. The whole room laughed and I sat there wondering if anyone else felt the secondhand sting. She's part of this little clique of family friends, think adult
Cool moms.
who wear matching yoga gear and drink wine like it's their personality trait. Oh, I know the type, bestie. They probably wear Lululemon or Aloe. They make me feel like an outsider at my own engagement events. I swear, it's like I'm back in high school trying to sit at the lunch table with girls who pretend they don't hear me. Oh, they hear you, baby girl. They're just choosing not to. She gifted me a book called The Art of Being a Good Wife. When I awkwardly laughed, she said,
Oh, it's just a little joke, but marriage can be challenging for women who've been so career focused. Thought you'd appreciate it.
I always think that people who gift like self-help books, it's very backhanded. You gotta do it properly, you know? Like if someone gifted me, ego is the enemy, for example, I'd be like, what you trying to say, bestie? What you trying to say to me? Like, what am I supposed to be grateful? The Art of Being a Good Wife, a guide to nurturing your marriage, a book by a man. Some qualities of a good wife include respect. Respecting your husband's needs to feel respected can help him respond lovingly toward you. This is just the Spark Notes version of it, or the AI overview. Being able to communicate openly and effectively with your husband can help strengthen your relationship. Being supportive and trusting in your husband can help him achieve his goals and be the best version of himself. Being kind and showing appreciation for your husband can help strengthen your relationship. This is all about the husband. So this is literally all just about pleasing the husband. At a family dinner, she glanced at my plate and said,
Wow, you're not one of those brides obsessed with crash dieting, huh? Good for you.
So she just called you fat. Got it. She food shamed you. I didn't even know how to respond because was that a compliment? An insult? Both?
Are you insulting me?
Yeah, she's like, honestly, she's an artist at these backhanded compliments. She constantly forgets basic things about me. She introduces me to people like I'm an afterthought.
This is James' fiance, Sarah, right? She works with numbers or something.
Like she forgot your name? I'm a data analyst. I've told her this multiple times. She just doesn't care to remember. She sounds like a peach. The worst part, James doesn't see it. Yeah, because I'm sure that she maybe doesn't do it in front of him, or maybe he's so used to it he doesn't see, or maybe he's just pandering to her. I don't know. Every time I try to talk to him, he says,
"That's just how she is."
Or
she doesn't mean it like that.
He's not a mama's boy. He's just blind to the subtle stuff because he's grown up with it. And to be fair, women who are like this don't really treat men like this. That's reserved for other women, that kind of treatment. My family, they're the keep the peace type. My mom literally said,
She's probably just nervous about losing her son. Don't take it personally.
okay, but why does her anxiety have to become my emotional punching bag? Oh, it doesn't. The only person who's been truly in my corner is my maid of honor, Lena. She's the kind of friend who would fight a bear for me. She's witnessed Karen's behavior firsthand and has even called her out in the most polite, cutting way imaginable. Basically my hero. Right, because like, I was even just talking about this to my psych. I think women are much more emotionally focused than men.
I'm feeling emotional.
Not more emotional, just like much more perceptive about certain behaviors because we've witnessed it firsthand, okay? Like we've all met a woman who is like this and you only recognize it until you've seen it yourself. Men tend to be like almost like ignorance is bliss sort of thing. Like they don't seem to be as like quick to see a threat in the same way that women are. But like, make no mistake, when you sense that there's some sort of threat or like the energy is just off, girl, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm telling you right now, you're right. She's also been gently trying to push me towards standing up for myself. I would actually like kind of agree with her.
Stand up for yourself.
You're also sort of like letting her talk to you this way. Not to say you deserve it. It's almost like she thinks you're too weak to stand up for yourself, so she just sees you as an easy target. And maybe if you did, she'd respect you a little more. This kind of reminds me of like Matthew McConaughey's wife and how his mother-in-law absolutely hated his wife for the longest time until she talk back to her and then all of a sudden now they're besties. That's what I think of when I think of this. Now here's the thing. I've seriously considered calling off the wedding, but the idea of doing that, absolutely terrifying. Not just because I love James, but because dealing with the fallout sounds like my worst nightmare. The awkward conversations, the disappointment, the feeling of having failed, it's enough to make me want to crawl under a blanket and never come out. I can totally agree with you on that. I just also feel as though I really wish your husband, or your future husband rather, was a little more, like affirmed you a little more in how you feel. Because you're not crazy. You're not. It also would probably help if he said something too, and it wasn't just up to you to stand up for yourself.
Talk to your mother.
Standing up to a bully is hard. When bullies feel like they're wrong, and they feel wrong because other people, like, you've got backup, right? You're not as easy of a target anymore. That's why I feel so strongly about like when someone is getting bullied, I tend to be on the side of the person who's getting bullied, because I never had anybody that stepped up for me, because I know that all it would have taken for the bullying to stop would be for someone to stand up for me. So I always try to be that person, because that's literally all it takes for a bully to back off. At the same time, I'm scared of walking down the aisle with this giant pit in my stomach, knowing I ignored every red flag because I was too afraid to speak up. So potatoes, am I overreacting? Is this normal wedding stress that everyone deals with? There's a difference between an overbearing mother-in-law and a mother-in-law that really just doesn't like you at all. Even if she doesn't like you, she's got to bite her tongue and suck it up, because she's not marrying you at the end of the day. Or am I ignoring something that's only going to get worse after the vows are said? I need opinions from people who aren't biased because I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Yes, ending the wedding at this point I think is extreme, but like I do feel as though I don't like how your husband is handling this. I don't like that he's not sticking up for you at all. And I don't like that this mother-in-law has just like literally gone balls to the wall, like overtly mean, but she does it in like a sneaky way. I almost feel like she's trying to get rid of you. Like she's trying to make it so difficult for you so that you second guess like everything. I don't think that she wants you to marry her son. Okay, we do have an update. Hey potatoes, I wanted to give you an update, and things have definitely shifted in the past day. After reading through all the comments, it was clear I had to talk to James first, but I'll be honest, I needed a boost. So before talking to James, I called my brother for his perspective. I thought he'd be on my side, but he gave me a reality check instead. said. He said he couldn't believe I was seriously considering canceling the wedding over a few comments from my mother-in-law. He told me if that was the only reason I was planning to cancel something so huge as a wedding, I needed to take a serious step back. He basically told me that no one is perfect and relationships, especially marriage, involve compromise. I mean, yeah, not compromise in this respect though. Like lots of compromises to like toward the greater good. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a partner who, you know, is willing to back you up when you're hurting, I feel like that's a much wider issue. He said the wedding is a huge deal and I shouldn't rush to make a decision over something that could be worked through. I mean, you could try. You could definitely try to talk to her and talk to your fiance. Then he said something that hit home.
This is how you always are. You have no opinions until the very last moment, and you freak out when you realize how it's actually a problem and won't go away just because you don't react to it.
I didn't realize that this was a problem, but looking back, wow, he was so right. And honestly, I didn't realize I had a pattern of letting things build up until I can't take it anymore and then I panic. That's something I need to work on. I mean, I would say to a certain degree, I kind of get not reacting because it might not be like a serious, you look for patterns, right? Like one person can make like a passive aggressive comment and it doesn't mean that that's how they feel about you or who they are. Over time, you start to realize that that's who that person is. So I feel like acting kind of, you know, I also like probably would approach it in the same way because you really don't know until you have more information how someone feels about you or how you feel about them. But I agree. I think that maybe there could have been maybe some boundary setting on your part up until now. And if those boundaries were not respected, then I would, you know, absolutely say like you need to really reconsider this marriage. But anyways, let's carry on.
Carry on my wayward son.
After that conversation, I went straight to James. I'm terrible at confrontations and I tend to get emotional, so I decided to write him a letter and get everything off my chest. I told him how hurt I was by his mom's comments, how I felt unsupported when he didn't take me seriously, and how worried I was about moving forward with the wedding if things don't change. When we sat down after he read it, he told me how hurt he was that I jumped straight into thinking about canceling the wedding without talking to him first. He felt blindsided, like I didn't give him a chance to be a part of the conversation. Again, wow, you guys were so right about actually talking it through with him. I mean, I think that you did try to tell him though. That's why it's like, I understand him feeling like,
I really wish that you talked to me.
I think that you tried to talk to him. Maybe he didn't realize how serious it was for you. He admitted he didn't realize how much his mom's behavior was affecting me. He agreed that it wasn't okay, good, and he shouldn't have brushed off my feelings. At the same time, he explained how much he loved his mom and how worried he is about making things worse if he steps in too hard. Still, he promised he would back me up when I need him. Okay, I feel like this is good. This is good, right? I don't know. I'm not satisfied with that. You can't just let people walk all over you and the people that you love because you're worried about confrontation. It's clear to me that now I've been expecting James to handle things with his mom that I need to address myself. I can't rely on him to fix everything. I need to step up and handle some of this on my own. Okay, good. I like that. Next, we're planning on having a private conversation with his mom. I'm not sure how much it will help, but having James there for support can only make things easier. Thanks again, Potatoes, for all your advice. You really helped me find the courage to have these tough conversations. And I talked to him about a couples therapy. He felt we didn't need it, but we booked a session just to see if it would help. I'm not sure what the conversation with Karen would be like, but like everyone pointed out, I should deal with it first instead of imagining the worst and suppressing it. Okay, good. Not sure what that looks like, and even just writing this is making me hyperventilate. And I want to puke, but as I've been advised so many times by you guys, that's the right thing to do. Okay, let's look at some of these responses. OP, I'm so sorry. Your fiance will never have your back and your future mother-in-law will just get worse because he can't or won't set boundaries. It's time to have an honest conversation so he fully understands how serious this is for you. If he doesn't see the issue, then I think you have your answer. So this person quoted,
Every time I try to talk to him, he says that's just how she is or she doesn't mean it like that.
I'm sorry, but it's not a mother-in-law problem. This is a fiance problem. That is not to say anything about her is good. It's not, but your problem is that hubby doesn't and will never have your back. This is gonna be your life. Baby names, whatever mom wants or doesn't want. She will ruin every single surprise you ever have. Every future celebration will be about her. Your house will be near them.
But babe, it makes more sense this way.
She will shove in the trash whatever food contributions you bring to Thanksgiving. She will gaslight you until you can't take it anymore and you'll be labeled the crazy one. I'd go further and say it's not even all on the fiance and mother-in-law. This is also on OP for letting it slide. Call her out on comments. What do you mean by that? Are you really trying to be nice? Because that sounded mean to me. You know what you do when someone makes like kind of like a passive aggressive remark? And I learned this from my mother-in-law. Sorry, I don't understand. And you make them explain it. Do it in front of somebody else. So they have to explain what they meant in front of somebody else. It makes them feel stupid and mean. All right, we have one hell of an update here. My mother-in-law is a nightmare. And now the wedding is canceled. Not by me. Hey potatoes! Well, I'm back with one last update, and trust me, I didn't see this one coming either. Strap in because it's a ride. First, thank you to everyone who supported me through my last post. Reading your comments made me feel so validated, and honestly, it gave me the push I needed. So here's what happened after that. James and I decided it was time to have the dreaded talk with Karen. I wasn't exactly thrilled, but we both knew we couldn't keep ignoring it. Spoiler, it went about as well as you'd expect. Let me guess, she played the victim and she gaslit you. We sat down and explained how her constant digs and helpful comments were hurtful and unnecessary. She, of course, denied everything.
I'm just being honest. You're too sensitive.
And my personal favorite,
I'm only trying to help you be a better wife.
yeah, she actually said that. It's all the same, eh? They're all the same. James tried to back me up, but every time, see, this is another reason why, like, I have conflict resolution issues. It's because every time, a lot of the time, when I've tried to resolve conflict, this is an actual disorder, eh? I've been diagnosed, apparently. When I've tried to resolve conflict, it has not gone well. You hope that people apologize, that they hear you out, that, you know, there's this like, almost like it brings you closer. And I've never really met too many people who I've been able to have like an honest conversation with, tell them how I feel, and they really genuinely hear me out and apologize. And, you know, they might come up with an excuse or two, but a lot of the time people gaslight. They make you feel like you're the one, like your reaction to them is the problem. It's not. Like having this issue with conflict resolution, also feeling like you can't ever resolve conflict because most people don't ever listen to you or try to resolve that conflict themselves, it makes it hard for you to have conflict in the first place in your life. So James tried to back me up, but every time he did, she pulled the whole
So you're choosing her over your own mother.
guilt trip.
Yes, I am.
It was exhausting. After an hour of going in circles, we realized nothing was going to change. Honestly, I've never seen James so irritated in my life. So we just stopped responding. No calls, no texts, nothing. And let me tell you, Karen did not take it well. She left endless voicemails, sent passive-aggressive texts, and even showed up at our place once. We didn't let her in. God, I've never seen her so pissed off. I'll be honest, I was so happy about how I was actually getting to her. Nothing I said seemed to annoy her as much as not reacting to her did. Yeah, I mean, she's not getting her way probably for the first time ever, right? We expected some fallout, but what happened next? We never saw it coming. Karen got into a massive argument with another family member. We're still not 100% clear what sparked it. Something about money, family heirlooms, who knows? But it escalated fast. And then the cops got involved. I beg your finest pardon? Yeah. Actual police. From what we've pieced together, Karen lost it. We're talking threats, some property damage, and just complete chaos. Next thing we knew, there were legal charges being filed. It still doesn't feel real. Wait, against Karen? Karen has the legal charges? James and I were floored. My parents couldn't believe it either. My mom kept saying, we knew she was difficult, but this? Yeah, same. I still can't believe she did something like this. It seems so different from usual. Well, I mean, she kind of seems like a bully, though. She kind of seems like a bully, and she seems like someone who, when confronted and when she doesn't get her way, she would do anything it takes to get her way. So it actually doesn't surprise me that she would get physical. I honestly think this is something more than the small issue everyone is making it seem like, because she actually got physical. With all this going on, the wedding quickly became the least of our worries. After a lot of long talks and even longer silences, because how do we react to this, James and I decided to cancel it. Oh. Okay, well, I'm glad that you, in the end, it kind of seems like you're not the villain. How could anyone think you're the villain now? We canceled not because we don't love each other, we do, but we need time to process everything, figure out boundaries, and honestly just breathe. Yeah, I wouldn't want that kind of surrounding my wedding either. We're still together and we're starting therapy, both individually and as a couple. There's a lot to unpack and we both need to heal from this. So yeah, that's where we're at. Your advice and support got me through some really tough moments. This is my last update, but I'll always be grateful for this little corner of the internet. Oh, I'm glad to hear. I'm so glad that like this subreddit has like not only become a source of entertainment for you guys, but also like, I don't know, a source for you guys to like support each other through your tough times. Cause like I can't get to every story. I really can't. It's nice that you guys are still in here supporting each other and like helping each other through your problems. Like that makes me really, really happy. You can secretly get legally married and then have the fancy reception after the wedding ceremony just for show when you're ready. That's what I did and it was perfect. It worked for us. Yeah, I mean, you could just elope. Maybe, you know, a nice like extended honeymoon is exactly what you guys need in addition to some therapy, but sounds like everyone's just like, just do it, get married. If you really want to get married, then have a friend do it or go down to the courthouse. However, based on your post, I'd be wary of getting legally tied to that psycho mother-in-law. Waiting might be the smartest thing for you to do right now. I mean, that is a very good point. I like that you ended up not being the villain here. I like that you guys are still together. I like that he has been enlightened by who she really is. It's just, how do you move forward right now? That's the question. That's the big question mark, right? I'm happy to hear, I mean, it ended up being that you canceled the wedding anyway, but for external factors, at least it's not over, you know, not loving your fiance. My mother-in-law's a nightmare. Should I call off the wedding? I mean, she kind of did that for you, didn't she? It's